You know that feeling when a song stops you right in your tracks? Not just any song, a song that grabs you by the heart and pulls you back in time. I was in a grocery store yesterday just trying to buy some milk and bread. Nothing special, just a normal Tuesday. Then it happened. A slow piano melody started playing over the store speakers. And just like that, I forgot about the milk. I forgot about the bread. I forgot where I was. I just stood there in the middle of the aisle, holding a shopping basket, with tears filling my eyes. It was our song. The song we had our first dance to. People probably thought I was crazy. A woman in her 30s, frozen in the dairy section, crying over some cheese. But they didn't know. They couldn't know. They didn't know about the small apartment we shared, the one with the broken window in the bedroom that we covered with a blanket in winter. They didn't know about the way he used to make me coffee every morning, even though he didn't drink it himself. They didn't know about the first time he held my hand, and it felt like coming home. They didn't know about Leo. I'm Grace. And I met Leo at my cousin's wedding. I know, how cliché, right? Girl meets boy at a wedding. They fall in love. They live happily ever after. But life is never really like the movies, is it? The movies always stop at the good part. They don't show you what happens when the music stops playing. I was 25 back then. I had just moved to the city for a job I didn't really want, living in an apartment I could barely afford, eating instant noodles more often than I'd like to admit. I wasn't looking for love. I was looking for a way to pay my rent. The wedding was beautiful. Flowers everywhere, fairy lights hanging from the ceiling, tables covered in white cloths. I remember thinking how expensive everything must have cost. I sat at a table in the corner, eating cake and watching all the couples dance. I was happy for my cousin, really, but part of me felt like I was watching a movie about other people's lives. That's when I saw him. Leo was standing by the bar, holding a drink he wasn't really drinking. He just kept swirling it around, watching the ice cubes melt. He looked uncomfortable, like he'd rather be anywhere else. He was wearing a blue suit that didn't quite fit him right, and his hair was a little messy, like he'd just run his hands through it one too many times. He wasn't the kind of guy who turned heads when he walked into a room, but he was the kind of guy you noticed when you looked a little closer. Our eyes met across the room. He smiled. Not a big, confident smile, just a small, shy one. I smiled back, and then I looked away because I didn't want to be caught staring. A few minutes later, I felt someone standing next to my table. "Is this seat taken?" he asked. I looked up and there he was. Up close, I could see his eyes were green. Not bright green, but a soft, gentle green, like moss after rain. "It's all yours," I said. He sat down, and for a moment neither of us spoke. It was awkward, but a good kind of awkward. The kind where you don't feel like you have to fill the silence with meaningless words. "I'm Leo," he finally said. "Grace." "Nice to meet you, Grace. Are you related to the bride or the groom?" "The bride. She's my cousin. You?" "The groom. He's my best friend since kindergarten. We used to build forts together in his backyard." I laughed. "That's sweet. Do you still build forts?" "Only when no one's watching." And just like that, we started talking. We talked about everything and nothing. About his job teaching music to kids who would rather be playing video games. About my job answering phones for a company I couldn't even explain properly. About the terrible wedding cake and the amazing flower arrangements. About how weddings always made us think about our own lives and where we were going. Hours passed. I didn't even notice. The wedding cake was eaten, the speeches were made, the bouquet was thrown. And we were still sitting at that little table in the corner, talking like we'd known each other our whole lives. Then the DJ announced it was time for the last dance, a slow song for everyone to come together on the dance floor. "I don't really dance," Leo said. "Me neither," I said. We both laughed. "But," he said, standing up and holding out his hand, "maybe we could not dance together?" I looked at his hand. It was a nice hand, warm-looking. Safe-looking. I took it. The song started. I don't even remember what it was. Some slow love song. But I remember how it felt to have his hand on my back, guiding me gently. I remember how it felt to rest my head on his shoulder. I remember how it felt to move together, slowly, like we'd been doing it forever. We didn't say anything. We just danced. And in that moment, everything else disappeared. The crowded dance floor, the loud music, the flashing lights. It was just us. When the song ended, we didn't let go right away. "I'm glad I came to this wedding," he whispered. "Me too." And that was it. That was our first dance. Simple, slow, perfect. We exchanged numbers that night. He texted me the next morning. A simple message. "Still not dancing, but thinking about you." I smiled so hard my face hurt. Our first real date was 3 days later. He took me to this little park by the river. It wasn't fancy, just a bench, some trees, the sound of water flowing by. He brought a blanket and sandwiches he'd made himself. They weren't very good sandwiches, to be honest. Too much mayo, not enough salt. But I ate every bite like it was the best thing I'd ever tasted. "This is nice," I said, looking out at the river. "You think so?" I was worried it might be too simple. "Simple is good. Simple is real." He looked at me for a long moment. "You know, Grace, most girls I meet want fancy restaurants and expensive gifts. They want to be impressed. Those girls sound exhausting." He laughed. "Yeah, they kind of are." We talked until the sun went down, about our families, our dreams, our fears. I told him about my dad leaving when I was 12. He told me about his mom who worked 3 jobs to raise him on her own. I told him I was scared of never being good enough. He told me he was scared of ending up alone. "It's funny," he said as the first stars started appearing. "I've known you for only a few days, but I feel like I can tell you anything." "I know what you mean," I said. "It's like we've known each other in another life or something." Maybe we have. Maybe we keep finding each other over and over. It should have sounded cheesy, but from him it sounded like the truest thing I'd ever heard. 3 months later, I moved into his apartment, the one with the broken window and the landlord who never fixed anything. It was small and messy and perfect. We hung fairy lights in the bedroom to make it feel magical. We painted the kitchen yellow because yellow made us happy. We adopted a cat we named Pickle because she was small and green-eyed and a little bit sour. Those first months were the happiest of my life. Every morning, Leo would wake up before me and make coffee. He didn't drink it himself, but he learned how to make it just the way I liked it. A little bit of milk, no sugar. He'd bring it to me in bed, still half asleep, and kiss my forehead. "Good morning, beautiful," he'd whisper. And I'd pretend to still be sleeping so he'd do it again. On weekends, we'd have lazy mornings. We'd stay in bed for hours, talking and laughing and sometimes just being quiet together. Pickle would curl up between us, purring like a tiny engine. "You know what I love most about you?" he asked one Saturday morning. "What?" "How easy it is to be with you. I don't have to try to be someone I'm not. I can just be me, the messy, weird, sometimes sad me. And you still stay." "Of course I stay. That's what love is, isn't it? Staying." He got quiet for a moment. Then he said, "My dad left when I was little. He didn't stay. For a long time I thought that meant I wasn't worth staying for." I turned to face him, putting my hand on his cheek. "Leo, you are worth everything. Don't you ever doubt that." He smiled, but I could see the sadness in his eyes. The kind of sadness that doesn't go away just because someone tells you it should. That was the first time I saw the crack in him, the small, hidden place where he kept all his fears. I thought my love could fill that crack. I thought if I loved him enough, if I stayed long enough, he would finally believe he was worth staying for. I was wrong. You can't fill someone's cracks with your own love. They have to fill them themselves. I didn't know that then. I learned it later, the hard way. A year passed, then another. We had our routines, our favorite restaurants, our inside jokes. We had fights too, of course, about dishes left in the sink, about money, about whose turn it was to clean the litter box. Normal stuff. The kind of fights that end with you making up and ordering pizza because you're too tired to cook. But there were other fights too. The kind that scared me. Sometimes Leo would get quiet. Not the good kind of quiet. The kind where he'd disappear inside himself and I couldn't reach him. He'd sit on the couch, staring at nothing, not responding when I talked to him. "Leo? Baby, where are you?" "I'm here." "You're not. "You're somewhere else. Talk to me." "It's nothing. I'm just tired." But it wasn't nothing. I could feel it. Something was pulling him away from me, little by little, like the tide going out, slow and steady, until one day you look and the water is gone. I tried everything. I tried giving him space. I tried holding him closer. I tried talking, listening, cooking his favorite meals, leaving little love notes in his pockets. Nothing seemed to reach him.
One night, we went to a wedding. Another cousin, another celebration. Everyone was dancing and laughing and having a wonderful time. But Leo was quiet the whole night. He smiled when people talked to him, but I could see his smile didn't reach his eyes. "Come dance with me," I said, holding out my hand. "I'm not really in the mood, Grace. Please? For me? Just one dance." He looked at me for a long moment. Then he took my hand. The DJ put on a slow song. Not our song from that first wedding, but another one. A pretty one. We started dancing, and for a moment it felt like old times. His hand on my back, my head on his shoulder, moving together like we belonged. But something was different. His body was stiff. His mind was somewhere else. "Leo," I whispered. "Where are you?" He didn't answer. I stopped dancing. I stepped back and looked at him. Really looked at him. "You're leaving me?" I said. It wasn't a question. I just knew. His eyes filled with tears. "Grace, It's okay. You can tell me." "I don't know what's wrong with me," he said, his voice breaking. "I have you. I have everything I ever wanted. But I can't feel it. I can't feel anything. It's like something inside me is broken." "Nothing is broken. You're just scared." "I know. And I don't want to be scared anymore. But I don't know how to fix it." "We can fix it together. That's what couples do." He shook his head. "You can't fix me, Grace. I have to do that myself. And I don't think I can do it while I'm with you." The words hit me like a physical blow. What does that mean? It means I need to be alone. I need to figure out who I am without leaning on you. But I want you to lean on me. That's what love is. I know. And that's what makes it so hard. Every time I'm with you, I feel safe. And when I feel safe, I don't have to face the darkness inside me. I just hide from it. But it's still there, Grace. It's always there. And I need to face it. Alone. I wanted to argue. I wanted to scream and cry and beg him to stay. But something in his eyes stopped me. He wasn't trying to hurt me. He was trying to save himself. And if I really loved him, I had to let him try. "When?" I asked. "Soon. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." We stood there on the dance floor, surrounded by happy couples, and we held each other. Not dancing, just holding. Like two people saying goodbye without saying the words. He left 2 weeks later. Packed his bags while I was at work. Left a note on the kitchen table. It said, "Grace, you taught me that love can be simple. That it doesn't have to be complicated or hard. I'll carry that with me always. Thank you for staying as long as you did. I'm sorry I couldn't stay too. Leo." I read that note 100 times. 1,000. I kept it in my pocket until the paper got soft and the words started to fade. Pickle and I stayed in the apartment. The one with the broken window and the yellow kitchen. I couldn't leave. Every corner held a memory. The couch where we watched movies. The bed where we had lazy Sunday mornings. The kitchen where he burned toast almost every time he tried to make breakfast. I cried a lot. I stopped eating. I stopped sleeping. My friends called and I let it go to voicemail. My boss gave me a warning about my performance. I didn't care. I couldn't care. All I could feel was the empty space where Leo used to be. 6 months passed. Then a year. The pain didn't go away, but it changed. It became something I could carry. Something I could live with. I started going out again. Started laughing at jokes. Started noticing the world around me. I thought about him every day. But it didn't hurt the same way anymore. It was more like a gentle ache. The kind you get from an old wound that healed but left a scar. Then, 2 years after he left, I got a letter. It was handwritten on simple white paper. I recognized his handwriting immediately. My hands shook as I opened it. Dear Grace, I don't know if you'll want to hear from me. I don't know if you've moved on, found someone new, forgotten about me. I wouldn't blame you if you did, but I had to write. I had to tell you that I'm okay now. I'm not fixed, exactly. I don't think people get fixed like broken toys. But I'm healing. I've been going to therapy. I've been learning about myself, about why I am the way I am. My dad leaving wasn't my fault. I know that now. I've known it in my head for a long time, but now I know it in my heart too. I think about you every day. I think about our first dance, the way you felt in my arms, the way you looked at me like I was enough, just as I was. You were the first person who ever made me feel that way. I'm not writing to ask you to take me back. I'm writing to say thank you for staying, for loving me, for teaching me that love can be simple. I hope you're happy, Grace. You deserve to be happy. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. My number is the same. I'll understand if you don't call. With all my heart. Leo. I read the letter 3 times. Then I put it down and looked at Pickle, who was sleeping on the windowsill in a patch of sun. What do I do? I asked her. She opened one eye, then closed it again. Not helpful. I thought about calling him right away. My fingers itched to dial his number. But something held me back. I needed to think. I needed to feel. I needed to remember. I remembered the good times. The coffee in bed. The lazy Sundays. The way he made me laugh when I was sad. The way he held me when I had nightmares about my own father leaving. I remembered the bad times too. The silence. The distance. The feeling of watching someone I love slip away and not being able to stop it. I remembered our first dance. Simple. Slow. Perfect. Could we have another first dance? Could we start over? I didn't call him that day. Or the next. I carried his letter in my pocket, just like I'd carried his goodbye note years before. But this time, the words didn't make me sad. They made me think. 3 weeks later, I called. He answered on the first ring. Hello. Leo. It's Grace. A long pause. I could hear him breathing. Grace. Hi. Thank you for calling. Your letter was beautiful. It made me cry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. They were good tears. I think. Another pause. Then he said, can I see you? Just to talk. Just to. I don't know. Just to see your face. I thought about it. I thought about all the ways this could go wrong. All the ways we could hurt each other again. Okay, I said. But not at our old places. Somewhere new. We met at a coffee shop neither of us had been to before. Neutral ground. I got there early and ordered a tea, even though I don't really like tea. I just needed something to hold. When he walked in, my heart stopped. He looked older, thinner. His hair was shorter, and he had a little gray at the temples I didn't remember. But his eyes were the same. Soft green, like moss after rain. He saw me and smiled. That same small, shy smile from all those years ago. Hi, he said, sitting down across from me. Hi. You look beautiful. You look different. He laughed. Yeah, I guess I am. Different, I mean. We talked for 3 hours. About everything. About his therapy, about my job, about Pickle the cat. About the years we'd been apart. About what we'd learned. About who we'd become. He told me about the darkness he'd been carrying. About how he finally understood it wasn't his fault. About how he was learning to be alone without being lonely. I told him about the grief of losing him. About how I'd had to learn to be whole on my own. About how I'd finally stopped waiting for him to come back and started living my own life. I never stopped loving you, he said quietly. I never stopped loving you either. But love isn't always enough. I know that now. It isn't. But it's a start. He reached across the table and took my hand. I'm not asking for a second chance. I wanted you to know that you saved me. Even when I left, you saved me. Because you showed me what love could be. I squeezed his hand. You saved me too. By leaving. You made me learn how to be strong on my own. We sat there, holding hands across a small table in a coffee shop neither of us had been to before. Two people who had loved, lost, and somehow found their way back to each other. Not to the same place, but to a new place. A place where we were both whole. "Do you want to get out of here?" he asked. "Where do you want to go?" He smiled. "Anywhere. Nowhere. I just want to walk with you." So we walked. Through streets we'd never walked before, past buildings we'd never noticed, under trees just starting to show their spring leaves. We talked and laughed, and sometimes just walked in comfortable silence. As the sun started to set, we found ourselves in a small park. Nothing special. Just some grass, a few benches, a fountain that wasn't working. "Do you remember our first dance?" he asked. "Of course. I remember everything. I've thought about that moment so many times. The way you felt in my arms. The way the world disappeared. I've been chasing that feeling ever since. I know what you mean. I've compared every moment to that one." He stopped walking and turned to face me. "Grace, can I ask you something?" "Anything. Would you dance with me?" "Right here." I looked around at the empty park, the setting sun, the broken fountain. It wasn't a wedding. There was no music. Just us. "Yes," I said. He held out his hand, just like he had all those years ago. I took it. He put his hand on my back. I rested my head on his shoulder. And we danced. No music. Just the sound of our breathing, the distant traffic, the birds settling in for the night. We moved slowly, simply, perfectly. "I'm not the same person I was," he whispered. "Neither am I. But maybe that's okay. Maybe we can be new people together. Maybe we can." We danced until the sun went down and the stars came out. Our second first dance. Simple. Slow. Perfect. Later that night, he walked me to my car. We stood there, not wanting to say goodbye. "I'm glad you called," he said. "I'm glad you wrote." "So, what now?" I thought about it. About all the possibilities. All the ways this could go right or wrong. All the hope and fear and uncertainty. "Now we take it slow," I said. "We don't rush. We don't fall back into old patterns. We build something new. Something stronger." He nodded. "I can do that. If you can." "I can." He leaned in and kissed my forehead, just like he used to. "Good night, Grace." "Good night, Leo." I drove home with a smile on my face and a warmth in my heart. Pickle was waiting by the door, annoyed that dinner was late. "You'll never believe what happened," I told her. She meowed and rubbed against my legs. She didn't care about my love life. She just wanted food. We took it slow, just like I said. Coffee dates and long walks. Phone calls that lasted hours. Learning each other again. Discovering the people we'd become. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes old fears would surface. Sometimes we'd have to stop and talk and work through things. But we kept going, one step at a time. 6 months later, we went to another wedding. Another cousin, another celebration. We sat at a table in the corner, watching the couples dance. "Do you want to?" he asked. "Not yet. Let's just watch for a while." He put his arm around me and I leaned into him. Comfortable. Easy. Right. When the DJ announced the last dance, he looked at me. "Now." I smiled. "Now." We walked to the dance floor together. The song started, a slow one. Not our song, but close enough. As we danced, I looked up at him. At his green eyes, soft in the dim light. At the smile that was just for me. "What are you thinking?" he asked. "I'm thinking about our first dance. And our second first dance. And all the dances we still have ahead of us." He pulled me closer. "I'm thinking about how lucky I am that you gave me another chance." "I'm not giving you a chance. I'm giving us a chance. There's a difference." "I know. And I won't waste it." We danced until the song ended. And then we danced a little more, even though the music had stopped. Because that's what love is, I think. Not a perfect moment, frozen in time. But a choice made over and over to keep dancing even when the music stops. To hold on. To let go. To find your way back. To have a first dance. And a second one. And as many as it takes. I'm Grace. And this was the story of our first dance together. The one that started it all. The one that brought us here. To this moment, in this place, with this man who I love more than I ever thought possible. Life isn't simple. Love isn't simple. But sometimes, in the middle of all the complication, there are moments of pure, beautiful simplicity. A hand held out, a hand taken, two people moving together. That's all a dance really is. That's all love really is. Two people choosing to move together. And that's enough. That's more than enough.